What makes life truly worth living? This timeless question has echoed in the minds of philosophers, psychologists, and everyday people for generations. In Japan, a simple word offers a profound answer: ikigai. Often translated as a reason for being, ikigai is the idea that each of us has something that gives our life meaning, something that gets us up in the morning with purpose and joy. In this calming journey, we will explore the wisdom of ikigai, guiding you towards deeper self-discovery and your life's purpose. Sit back, take a slow, deep breath, and allow yourself to reflect as we delve into this gentle exploration of what it means to live with meaning and fulfillment. Today, we invite you to discover your ikigai. Together, we'll draw on insights from psychology and philosophy, from the serene villages of Okinawa to the teachings of Carl Jung, Stoic sages, and beyond. By the end of this journey, you may find yourself closer to answering that opening question for your own life with a renewed sense of clarity and empowerment. Ikigai is a Japanese concept that illuminates the path to a meaningful life. The word itself combines iki, meaning life, with gai, meaning worth or value. In essence, ikigai is that which gives your life worth, meaning, or purpose. You can imagine it as the convergence of 4 key elements of your life: what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. Where these 4 elements overlap, at the heart of that Venn diagram, lies your ikigai, your reason for being. To ground this idea in reality, let's travel to a place that embodies it: Okinawa, a tropical island in Japan. Okinawa is often cited for its extraordinary number of centenarians, people who live to 100 and beyond. Researchers have long been fascinated by the longevity of Okinawans. One common thread among these long-lived people is a strong sense of purpose. In fact, many Okinawan elders credit their ikigai, whether it's family, a beloved hobby, or contributing to their community, as a reason they live such long, happy lives. In Okinawan culture, having an ikigai is just a natural part of life. It's not something exotic or rare, but a humble, everyday source of motivation. They often say that ikigai is why they get up in the morning. Think of a kindly 90-year-old tending her garden at sunrise because caring for her plants gives her delight and purpose. That is her ikigai. So, ikigai is more than a philosophical idea. It's a living, breathing practice of aligning your daily life with your deeper values and joys. When you engage in what you love and what you're good at, in ways that serve the world and sustain you, you feel a profound sense of fulfillment. It's a feeling of harmony, of being in the right place, doing exactly what you're meant to be doing. This feeling is at the core of why life is worth living. From the perspective of psychology, discovering your ikigai is closely related to the journey of becoming your authentic self. The famous Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung had a term for this journey: individuation. Individuation is the process of developing into an individual, of becoming whole by integrating all the parts of yourself, your talents, your desires, even the parts of you that you've neglected or hidden. Jung believed that becoming whole is the ultimate goal of individuation. In other words, each person has a unique essence, and life's task is to realize that true self fully. What does it mean to become whole? It means shedding false identities and expectations that don't feel true to you. We all wear social masks or live out roles that others expect of us. Maybe you've been the dutiful son turned daughter, or chased a career because it seemed prestigious, not because you loved it. Jungian psychology invites us to strip away the false wrappings of the persona so that a unique, total human being emerges. It is a process by which every living organism becomes what it was destined to become from the beginning. This profound inner transformation is the essence of individuation, to become who you were always meant to be. Ikigai aligns with this idea beautifully. When you search for your Ikigai, you are really searching for the activities and commitments that resonate with your true self, the work and love that make you feel complete. It's a path of living authentically. Instead of dividing yourself between what you must do and what you love to do, your Ikigai merges them into one. You start to live in harmony with your innermost values and gifts, day by day. This alignment contributes immensely to psychological well-being. You feel less inner conflict and more inner peace because you're no longer torn between your desires and your duties. They become one and the same. In finding your Ikigai, you undergo a kind of individuation. You become a whole person, true to yourself, living a life that feels like your life, the life you were meant to live. Let's turn to another source of wisdom on living a meaningful life: the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. At first glance, Stoicism, born in Greece and Rome over 2,000 years ago, might seem worlds apart from Ikigai. But at its heart, Stoicism is also about finding purpose and peace through mindful living and virtuous action. The Stoics taught that a good life is one aligned with virtue, such as wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline, and with nature's course. Rather than chasing fame or wealth, they urged people to focus on what truly matters: one's character and contribution to the world. A key Stoic practice is training the mind to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. This mindfulness of one's own thoughts and reactions leads to tranquility. The Stoic philosopher Seneca, for instance, often warned about the tendency to torture ourselves with worry and fear. "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," Seneca wrote. In other words, our minds create a lot of unnecessary pain by conjuring up worst-case scenarios and anxieties. How many times have we all done this? Lost sleep over a problem that never actually came to pass. Seneca's wisdom encourages us to be present and not let imagined fears rob us of real joy. By applying a Stoic lens, finding purpose becomes about focusing on what you can give and control, your own actions, effort, and attitude, and letting go of the rest. Stoicism teaches resilience. Life will have hardships, but we can endure and even thrive by holding on to a guiding purpose. The Stoics believed that if you live virtuously and contribute to the greater good, you are living meaningfully. This connects to Ikigai in a profound way. Ikigai is often about serving others or the community with your unique talents, not just about personal gratification. A doctor whose Ikigai is healing the sick, an artist whose Ikigai is inspiring people, or a parent whose Ikigai is nurturing their children, each is living with purpose and virtue. Seneca and his fellow Stoics would approve of an Ikigai-driven life. It's a life where purpose acts as a North Star, helping you endure challenges. When you have that sense of why you're doing something, you can bear almost any how. And as we'll recall later, Viktor Frankl said nearly the same thing, a beautiful resonance between Stoic philosophy and modern psychology. By cultivating a calm mind and a purposeful heart, as the Stoics did, you create fertile ground for your Ikigai to flourish. Ikigai isn't just an abstract idea, it's wonderfully practical. It invites us to examine 4 fundamental aspects of our lives. Let's gently explore each of these with some reflective questions to guide you. Feel free to close your eyes for a moment and think about these, or perhaps jot down thoughts in a journal. What you love. Passion. What activities light you up inside? What makes you lose track of time because you're so happily engrossed? Consider the moments you feel joy and curiosity, whether it's cooking, painting, helping a friend, or exploring nature. Ask yourself, when do I feel most alive? What did I love doing as a child before the world told me what I should do? These clues point toward your passions. What you're good at. Talent. We all have natural strengths and skills, whether or not we acknowledge them. What are you naturally good at, or what skills have you cultivated over the years? What do people often compliment you on, or seek your help with? It could be listening, teaching, fixing things, or making others laugh. Reflect. What activities come easily to me, or give me a sense of mastery? In what moments do I excel or feel in my element? Your talents, even if humble, are an important part of your ikigai. What the world needs. Mission. This expands our view outward. Here, world can mean your community, your family, or society at large, whatever feels meaningful to you. Think about the needs around you that speak to your heart. It might be as broad as healing the environment, or as personal as spreading kindness in your neighborhood. Ask, how could I make a difference, even a small one? What issues or causes do I care about deeply? What would I regret not helping with if I had the chance? Identifying what the world needs and where that intersects with your passion and skills gives your life a sense of mission and service. What you can be paid for. Profession. This is the practical side. After all, we do need to make a living. But this isn't just about money, it's about sustainability. If you can find or create work that aligns with the other three circles, what you love, are good at, and what the world needs, you've hit the jackpot. Consider, what roles or careers allow me to use my talents and passions? How could I provide value to others such that I could be supported financially? It might be your current job can be tweaked to align more with your purpose, or perhaps a hobby can become a side business. Be open-minded and creative here. The goal is to find a way to sustain your ikigai so you can live it daily. Think of these four elements as overlapping circles. Your ikigai lies somewhere in the intersection. Even if it's not a perfect balance of all four, the more overlap, the closer you are. For example, you might love music and be good at songwriting. The world needs art and joy, and eventually you find a way to make a living through it. Even if it's modest, it sustains you. That would be an ikigai. But ikigai can also be modest and personal. It doesn't have to be your job. It could be something you pursue outside of work that fulfills the other elements and gives your life meaning. The key is reflection and small experiments. Try adding a bit more of what you love into your week, or use a talent in a new volunteer way, and notice how it feels. These practical steps pave the way toward living your ikigai. To truly understand ikigai, it helps to see it in action. For this, we look to the Okinawan elders who have perhaps mastered the art of a long and happy life. What do people do when they live to 100 years old and still wake up smiling? The answers are surprisingly simple and human. First, Okinawan centenarians stay active throughout life. There is a saying in Okinawa, retirement isn't in their vocabulary, literally. Traditionally, there was no word for retirement in the Okinawan language. Older folks remain engaged in their community and activities they enjoy. A 102-year-old fisherman might still go out to sea to catch a little fish for his family's dinner. A 90-year-old grandmother might be found each morning tending her vegetable garden under the gentle sun. They keep moving, gently and joyfully, and in doing so, they continue to feel needed and alive. Second, they take it slow and live in the moment. Life in Okinawan villages is unhurried. People stop to chat on their way home, they take time to brew tea and sit on the porch, and they don't watch the clock too closely. There's a relaxed sense of time. Nobody is in a rush, yet things somehow get done. This slower pace is a form of mindfulness. It keeps stress levels low. As one longevity researcher noted, Okinawans have stress-resistant personalities. They've learned to weather life's inevitable storms with a calm, resilient spirit. Instead of constantly hurrying, they focus on being present, enjoying the here and now, whether it's a simple meal or a conversation with a friend. This mindful approach to each day contributes to their health and happiness. Third, Okinawan elders foster a deep sense of gratitude and positivity. They greet each day with thankfulness, often literally praying or giving thanks in the morning for the life they have. Researchers have observed that all the centenarians we meet have a positive attitude. They are generally optimistic, fun-loving people. Even in very old age, they laugh, joke, and find reasons to be joyful. This doesn't mean life was always easy. Many lived through wars or loss. But they have a remarkable capacity to focus on what is good, to be content with small pleasures. Gratitude is like a daily vitamin for the spirit. It strengthens their resilience and sense of meaning. Lastly, and importantly, they invest in community. In Okinawa, nobody is really alone. Elderly people are surrounded by family, neighbors, and friends in a tight-knit community. They even have a special word, moai, which refers to a lifelong circle of friends who support each other. A moai might be a group of 5 or 6 pals who meet for tea every afternoon, or who check in on each other daily. These social bonds provide emotional support, fun, and a sense of belonging. Imagine knowing that no matter what, there are people who will listen to you, laugh with you, and help you if you're in need. This kind of community is a powerful source of ikigai. It reminds one that you matter to others, and they matter to you. Your life has purpose in the context of community, whether it's caring for grandchildren, sharing stories and wisdom, or simply being a friendly face at the local market each day. We can learn so much from the Okinawan way of life. Their daily routines embody what one study called the 7 rules of ikigai, which include staying active, taking it slow, connecting with nature, eating healthily, like the practice of hara hachibu, eating until you're 80% full, living in the moment, and above all, cultivating gratitude and close community. These aren't costly interventions or complex self-help hacks. They are humble, accessible habits available to all of us. By adopting even a few of these practices, a short walk each day, a moment of thankfulness, reaching out to a friend, we inch closer to the Ikigai lifestyle and the calm happiness it brings. Modern psychology offers another beautiful concept that intertwines with Ikigai: the flow state. Have you ever been so absorbed in an activity that time seemed to disappear? Perhaps you were writing, or playing music, or surfing, or even working on a project you love, and you looked up to realize hours had passed without you noticing. That experience is what psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi famously called flow. It's often described as being in the zone. When you are in flow, your whole being is involved. You're focused, creative, and completely present. Csikszentmihalyi defines flow as a string of best moments, moments when we are at our best. These moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limit in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. Think of an athlete in the middle of an intense game, a scientist absorbed in a fascinating experiment, or a dancer lost in the music. There's effort, yes, but it's blissful effort. Action and awareness merge. Self-consciousness fades. You're not second-guessing yourself or feeling anxious. You're just doing, fully immersed in the joy of the process. The flow state is not unlike a form of active meditation. It leaves you feeling invigorated, even if you've worked hard. Csikszentmihalyi observed that flow often happens when we do something we love and are skilled at, especially if it also benefits others or aligns with a larger purpose. Notice how that mirrors the elements of Ikigai: love, skill, and meaning. In fact, psychologists have noted that when you're consistently doing something you love and are good at, something that challenges you and possibly helps others, you are likely in a state of flow and in tune with your Ikigai. Consider a volunteer doctor running a free clinic in a poor neighborhood. Long hours, hard cases, but deeply meaningful work. She might experience flow in diagnosing and caring for patients, driven by her compassion and expertise. Or think of a gardener who adores cultivating roses. When he's tending to his plants, he enters a quiet rhythm, completely present with the task, fulfilled by nurturing life. These flow moments are clues to our Ikigai. They tell us, this is what you're made for. More of this, please. If you've experienced flow, pay attention to what you were doing in those times. It might be a hint toward your purpose. And if you haven't felt it in a long time, don't worry. You can invite flow by engaging more in hobbies or work that genuinely interest you. Try to find that spot where your skills meet a challenge that excites you. When you do, you'll likely find yourself blissfully absorbed. Flow is the psychological soundtrack of Ikigai. It is the state of being happily aligned with what you're doing, indicating that you're on the right path. By now, we've journeyed through ideas and examples, from philosophy and psychology to real-life stories, all circling the central theme of Ikigai. So how do you find your Ikigai? This part of the journey is deeply personal. There is no formula or deadline. In fact, everyone has an Ikigai, but it may take gentle exploration to discover it. It's okay if you don't know it yet, or if it evolves over time. The process of finding your Ikigai is itself a meaningful journey. Start by listening to your life. Pay attention to the moments that give you spark and flow, as we just discussed. Notice when you feel useful to others in a way that also satisfies you. Sometimes Ikigai hides in plain sight, in the things we do so naturally that we overlook their value. Maybe you've always found peace in organizing your home, and you realize your Ikigai might involve creating harmony and beauty in spaces, which could point toward interior design, or simply being the one who brings people together in a comfortable environment. Or you might remember how much you loved storytelling as a child, prompting you to volunteer at a local library's reading program. Look for those little trail markers in your life, the activities, interests, and moments of engagement that consistently feel right. Here are a few guiding questions you can quietly reflect on, perhaps later tonight or in the morning calm, to get closer to your Ikigai. There are no right or wrong answers. Just be honest with yourself, and even the smallest insight is progress. When do I feel most happy and fulfilled? Think of specific instances. What was happening? Who were you with? What were you doing? What would I choose to do with my time if money were no object and I had no fear of failure? Sometimes our true passions are revealed when we remove the practical filters. What values do I hold dearest in life? Kindness, creativity, freedom, family, learning, etc. How can you incorporate these values more into what you do each day? What small step can I take this week to explore something that intrigues me or to nurture a skill I have? Ikigai often emerges through action, not just contemplation. Try something and see how it feels. Remember, finding your Ikigai doesn't usually happen in one lightning bolt moment. It's a gradual unfolding. You might treat it like an experiment or an adventure. Allow yourself to try new things or revisit old joys. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. When do you feel a resounding yes inside? Follow that. Also, consider the needs around you. Where do your interests intersect with a way to help others or solve a problem? Ikigai often reveals itself at that intersection. It's important to emphasize that Ikigai is personal. Your Ikigai might be grand, or it might be quiet and simple. Both are equally valid. One person's Ikigai could be to protect the Earth's biodiversity, while another's could be to make my grandmother smile every day. There is no hierarchy here. What matters is that it matters to you. If it makes you excited to get up in the morning, if it feels meaningful in your heart, it counts. In this journey, be patient and kind with yourself. Life may gently push you toward your Ikigai through serendipitous events or challenges that teach you what truly matters. Stay open and curious. Journal your thoughts. Talk with loved ones about what they see as your strengths, and give yourself permission to evolve. Your Ikigai can change over time as you enter different seasons of life, and that's natural. The thread that runs through will always be purpose, your unique way of giving and living that creates happiness for you and those around you. So, what makes life truly worth living? After exploring Ikigai and these many insights, we circle back to this fundamental question. By now, perhaps you have a feeling that the answer lies in purpose. A life worth living is a life lived on purpose, a life where you have a why that fuels you. When you have a clear why, the whats and hows of life fall into place. The psychiatrist Viktor Frankl, who survived the horrors of a concentration camp and went on to write Man's Search for Meaning, deeply understood this. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how, Frankl wrote. In the darkest of times, it was those who clung to a reason to live, be it love, faith, or a task unfinished, that found the strength to go on. Conversely, those who felt no purpose, no thread of meaning, often lost hope. Frankl's words echo loudly in the context of Ikigai. Your Ikigai is your why to live. It's what gives you resilience in the face of hardship and humility in the face of success. It's what makes life not just survivable, but truly worth living. When you have identified something worth living for, you can handle the inevitable ups and downs of life with more grace. Challenges become meaningful challenges, not just meaningless suffering. Each day is not just another day, but another step toward fulfilling your purpose or enjoying what you're here to do. Take a moment to imagine living each day with a gentle sense of purpose. Not a stressed, hustle and grind kind of purpose, but an inner compass that guides you. Even if today is hard, you know why you're doing what you do, and that gives you hope. Even if you're still on the path to finding it, trust that this purpose exists within you, ready to be recognized. In reflecting on Ikigai, we've seen that it doesn't require you to change everything about your life overnight. Often, it's about seeing what's already there in a new light. It might be doubling down on the small acts that bring you joy and others joy. It might be reconnecting with a dream you postponed. It could be as simple as shifting your mindset about your current work, finding the aspects of it that do align with your values, and nurturing those. Life is a precious gift. and it asks us what we want to do with it. Ikigai is one answer, a very beautiful and human answer. Devote it to what matters most to you. As you align with your Ikigai, you may find an unexpected side effect: happiness. Not the fleeting, superficial kind, but a deep contentment. In Japanese, there's a concept of ikigai, life's worth, which implies that just the act of living each day with purpose is the reward itself. Now, having walked this thoughtful path, I encourage you to take gentle action in your own life. Start small. Start now. Perhaps tonight, before you sleep, think about one thing that gives you a spark of Ikigai, and one thing you might do tomorrow to honor that spark. It could be as little as spending 10 minutes on a hobby you love, reaching out to help a friend, or simply pausing to appreciate something you usually take for granted. These small steps and reflections are the beginning of a journey toward a more fulfilling life. I invite you to join the conversation. If you feel comfortable, share one insight or reflection in the comments. What do you feel might be part of your Ikigai? Or what question from this video struck a chord with you? By sharing, you might inspire someone else, and you reinforce your own understanding. Remember, we are a community of people all exploring what makes life worth living, and we can learn from each other's stories and support one another. Lastly, carry this gentle energy with you. The aim of this video was not just to fill your mind with ideas, but to create a space of calm and inner quiet where you could hear your own heart. I hope you found something valuable here, a seed of purpose, a moment of peace, or a spark of motivation. Nurture that seed. Life's journey to find meaning is ongoing, but every step taken in awareness is a step toward living authentically. Thank you for spending this time on yourself, on your own growth and well-being. Remember the wisdom of Ikigai. Your life has purpose and you matter. Every morning is an opportunity to start anew, to step forward on the path only you can walk. What makes life truly worth living? Perhaps now you have an inkling of an answer, shining quietly within.